Oh, yo, not to get off on a tangent, but one of the cats in our circle, Bobby Trends. I had to give him a shout out because that cat, man, he used to basically live with us for a minute. He straight lived on our couch. This Joker is like a god now.
Bobby Trends from Hot 97.
Hot 97, yeah.
Shout out to Dab. He grew up, I guess, all over, but my man Dab, who just tuned in, shout out. He they grew up in Irvington
Yeah,
together. You know
Irvington.
what I'm saying?
Yep.
And Bobby, salute to Bobby. He worked with us at Diva Lounge back when I was into the
Parties and stuff.
into the promotion production days and all that. But we ain't gonna
Yeah.
talk about that because I don't want
Yeah,
to
yeah.
go down that road. But
Yeah.
so
That's a whole nother show right there.
that's a whole nother series. That's a Netflix
Yeah.
series right there. So one of the questions I really want to get at, and I know that I know for me, even as a youngster, I used to say, yo, how much time and precision does it take and patience does it take to like create one of those pieces? Because it's not like you could, get an eraser and erase it. You know what I mean?
Nah.
It's not many do-overs. Like it's like one take.
Yeah.
It's like when Jay get in the booth, he said, I bet you 50 grand I could do this in one take. And then he do it in one take. And it's like, yo, how the hell he do that? Like, what's the preparation like? What's the mental state you have to be in to create those murals at that size with that limited amount of time with the thought of a cop or somebody else coming through and seeing, like, you got to have a tremendous amount of focus. Like, what's that whole process like?
Well, first of all, that's part of the reason why, like, it's levels to it. Some people just bombers, taggers. They just write. They want to put their name on everything, just for the fame. But like, there's actually a science to that. So you got to figure, like, you out there spraying on something illegally, right? If you don't do it fast, you're gonna get caught, right? So that speed teaches you, which is called can control, how to control that can. Because if you hold it there too long, it's gonna drip. I have mad drips, right? So that's where the precision comes in. Learn how to write your name real quick, then you get a little bit better. You do what we call throw ups, where it's just like basic letters and then you color it in real quick. Then you go to blockies. It's levels to it. So by the time you get to a full on, we call them burners, when you do the big pieces with all the colors and stuff, you already got the confidence with the can. You already how to control it, how to handle it. So it's like levels to it. It's steps to it. That's why it's so important. If you could get a legal wall where you don't have that stress of like, one time me and my boy, man, we did this piece. It was like 3 a.m. and basically I had to I'm doing it, filling it in. He's on the corner watching out for cops. And then we take turns like that. And he's like, every like 10, 15 minutes, yeah. You got to walk off, play it off, you know what I'm saying? He come back, he do his, you watching out for him. That's hella stressful, man. So when you get a legal wall, man, it makes a big difference.
So talk about the preparation before you get to the wall. Talk about, like how you decide what piece you're going to work on. And then, like, do you have to sketch it? And then do you have to draw it on a big piece of cardboard first to get the practice of the precision? Talk about that whole process before you even get to the wall.
Right. So, like, graffiti artists, we all have black books. That's where we do all our sketching and stuff. So that's like a constant practice phase. You constantly sketching. Then you get you some markers. You learn how to blend colors and stuff like that. And it's customary to pass your book to so-and-so. He'll do a piece in yours. You do a piece in his. And it's like a big community type of thing, right? But during that whole time, you're practicing. You're seeing which letter style is going to work, what color scheme you're going to use. So by the time you get to the wall, you don't really have to think. You know what you're going to do. It's just about your can control and your execution at that point.
Now, it's very difficult to, unless you got a real keen eye for it, to understand exactly what the words say, unless you really focus on it.
Yeah.
Is there a certain style that you use to create a Z and then fuse that with a O, You know what I mean? And then fuse that with a skull, and then fuse that with crossbones, and then fuse that, because it just seems like a lot of small moving parts that you got to figure out how to make it all work, and it normally comes out to be a masterpiece. So for that, that's not even a question. I'm just you know, big ups and paying you homage for that. I salute you, man, because when you look at, so doing a mural of a Malcolm X, or doing a mural of a Pitbull, or doing a mural of a dope flower pot or whatever, that's you know, that's simple. You know what I mean? But to make those intricate, you know, like Dase, you got to really look at it to see Dase. You know, you got to know what you're looking for to see the words DASE.
Right.
You know, so salute to you for that. So now, moving forward, art is so much a part of your life that you couldn't let it go. And you ended up being...
Art's high, baby. Art's high.
You ended up being a what?
Oh, as of now?
Yeah.
Right now, I'm an art teacher. And working
couldn't
hard.
Let it go. You couldn't let it go.
Couldn't let it. What else I'm gonna do, man? I've been doing this since I was like 4 or 5 years old, man.
Yeah. So now you are teaching the kids, the babies, about art and the importance of art. And I bet you they never would believe that the nice guy, Mr. D, used to be creeping through the streets. You know what I mean? Creeping around corners looking for a building to completely deface, you know what I mean? And devalue, you know what I mean, at some point in his life. You know? So there's a certain level of stealth that you have to have and that you have to maintain in order to live and flourish in that lifestyle. Because if too many people know who you are, tell me if I'm wrong. If too many people know who you are, then your career is kind of up. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
If people can identify, yo, that's the dude that did that building, that's the dude that did that, you know, that bridge over there, that's the dude, then your career was kind of up. Was it very difficult for you to kind of keep that under wraps? When people are praising your work and you like, yo, I want to say that's me so bad, but I can't because, you know, my cover's blown, my cruise cover's going to be blown.
Nah, not really, man. Like I said, I've been a humble type. And like I said, it's a subculture. And half the people can't even read, even when you write it simple. Like the untrained eye can't even read or see what you're doing. So, nah, but fame from my contemporaries, oh, yeah. I wanted you to know I did that.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying? But like the average people, I didn't care. So it was easy to keep under wraps. My boy B says,
Talk about the billboard downtown. I'm ready for it. I'm here for it.
Oh, man. All right. So
let's get into it. Good looking, B.
This is when I was hungry, man. I was coming up, man. I wanted to prove myself. Usually, you know, I always roll with B and Fleck, but this time I went Dolo, man. You remember what's that club down there? Zanzibar.
Absolutely. You had little babies running around. You know?
Yeah.
It's
So, yeah, I told you, I used to be a house head, right? So this is like 94 or something. One time riding the bus, you know, because graffiti artists, we see stuff other people don't see. We always looking for an opportunity to, like, grab the most amount of boom for our buck, you know, most amount of fame. So I looked up one time. I'm like, oh, it's an empty billboard on top of this building. So this is like a month prior. I'm like, how the hell am I going to get up there? So the whole time, every time I go downtown, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this, what time, all that. So I finally figure out, all right, I'm going to go down there like early in the morning. So what I did is I went to the Zans, did my little house thing, battled this cat, took him out right quick.
Now, you didn't do the baby powder, did you?
Oh, I did a little bit of that.
He did the baby powder. All right. Continue.
That's old school, man.
Continue.
So when it comes, because, you know, they used to close like, I think 6, right? Zans.
Crazy. Because they had to go change them diapers. Yo, put the
So usually I'll stay to the very end because you try to get your money's worth, right? But this time I said, let me dip out a few hours early. So I leave like 3, 4 a.m. Now, Monty, before I went in the club, I found these big like barrels or whatever of paint, buckets of paint, the tall can, and I stashed it around the dumpster. So I figured I could use that to climb up on the fire escape because the fire escape could take me all the way up to the roof.
Crazy.
So I go get my stash. It's like 3, 4 in the morning. Make sure nobody's around. Put the buckets right there underneath the fire escape, and it still was a gap. I'm like, damn, now I gotta jump. About a foot. I don't know if there's a foot, maybe a foot. I got a backpack, all this spray paint. So I jumped.
This is fucking crazy.
Like Spider-Man, climbing up. I got the picture somewhere. I got to show you too, Kirk.
Yeah.
It's right across the street from Military Park.
Okay.
And so I climb up there. I get to the top. I look down. I'm like, oh shit, this is high as hell. I said, what am I doing? My heart's beating and stuff. So, you know, I decided just to do something simple because I didn't want to spend too much time up there because cops come, where I'm gonna go. You know what I mean? So I just did a big ad. I didn't go, you know, I didn't put my name. I just put our crew, AWC, in big block letters. And then I put my crew, I put our names underneath it. Climb my ass down, jump, and left. And I know the next day, people probably like, why is that fire escape hanging down like that? Why are these buckets all over the ground? But yeah, I planned that mission, man. That was crazy.
You should have got one of the Bebe kids to help you out. You wouldn't have had to jump probably. Huh? Now, is there ever a mission that's, because a lot of times when you riding around, you see like, it'd be like the side of a building. Yeah. And there's no access to the building, or it's the side of a bridge. Yep. And there's no access. It's just like space and opportunity. Yeah. Like, did you ever once consider, like, you know, getting the harness gear and the rope and all that and sliding down? What you got in the building, you know, sliding down like you climbing Mount Everest or some shit. Like, you ever think about going like super extreme like that? Or was that the most extreme you ever did, that billboard?
That billboard and a few other high up spots and like some close to the train tracks is the craziest stuff I ever did. But my boy Syph, he was crazy. He was on some Spider-Man shit. Some cats, like, what they'll do is they'll learn how to write or do their piece upside down and then hang themselves, like, however they hang themselves from, like, say, a bridge, and you got to write upside down while you hanging. So they would practice how to do their piece upside down. And then I don't know how they, like, it's all types of ways that they would, like, lower themselves down, whether their partner's holding them or they strap themselves to whatever. And they would do their artwork upside down. So when you ride by, you're like, how the hell? That's how they did it, man. And you got to be willing to climb. If you want to do all that crazy shit, you got to be willing to climb.
Well, listen, man. You know, I'm glad you wasn't willing to do all that. You know what I mean? Because you probably would have fell, bust your head, and we probably would have never met. You know what I mean? These stories can go on and on and on for days. And we spoke earlier this week that the cast that's in your crew, like, I actually want to sit down and do a series of interactive sessions like this to just get that culture out there, because that's that's like the forgotten, you know, element that nobody really talks about. And, you know, when I was doing my research, and I was like, yo, graffiti is actually
that was the first element.
Yeah. And that was started back in the 50s, I think they said. You know what I mean? So I would love to have a session like this with, you know, some of the names that I mentioned earlier, the ones who came before you, the ones who, you know, that you know, picked that torch up and carried it on, you know, with your crew. And I don't know if you know anybody who came after you, but this is one of, you know, I've been doing this like for a while now, and this has to be one of the best, most entertaining that I've done, simply because I've known you for so long, and you're one of the coolest, quietest cats. And when you told me what you used to do, and I'm like, yo, I couldn't, you know, I couldn't believe it. Like, there's certain things about me when people find out, they're like, nah, not you.
Yeah, I get that.
Nah, just ask. But, you know, so at the risk of this becoming too much, I just want to say thank you for your contribution to the culture.
Of course, man. Yeah.
Thank you for being that rebel with a cause, as opposed to being a rebel without a cause.
Right.
You know, thank you for staying in the realm of art and not just letting it go. And I'm hoping that you have some things in the works moving forward, because I know at one point you got into sipping paint and whatnot. Yeah. So I'm hoping that there's some more art within you that you just oozing to get out. And I wanna plug you real quick, Paul. So there's a new avatar. There's a new creation. Cuz, what's up? Ariel. There's a new, like, that he created for me. And it's called Mr. Three Keys. The TKB report stands for Three Keys Brand Reports. And what we report on are people who contribute to the culture in many different ways. And this brother sent me an image that if you go to my page and you go to my story now, you know, at the TKB report, you're going to see. And he hit it, pause, spot on. My crazy hairline, this beard, you know, like he hit it dead on. And my kids saw it and said, Dad, that looks exactly like you. Whoever did that is super talented. They didn't say that, but I'm just paraphrasing for a 13 and a 9-year-old. You know what I mean? So yeah. I'm just hoping that there's more to come artistically from you. And I want to be the one to showcase it. I want to be the one to tell, you know, more of your stories, to tell your crew's stories, and really talk about the culture of art that comes right from Brick City, New Jersey, and you being a part of all that, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. I mean, I'm in the process of reinventing myself, trying to like do a fusion of a lot of different art forms and styles. So I'm definitely coming at you with some heat, bro. Definitely.
Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody that tuned in for this legendary interview, to hear from this legendary creative, this legendary artist who, you know, I always said I wanted to give him his props publicly. You know, we talked about this many, many years ago, probably more than 3,650 days ago, right?
Yeah.
Probably way longer than that, you know. And I finally created a platform where I can kind of do that, you know. And I'm so thankful that he took the time out to do it. He's a husband, he's a father, he's an artist, and he took the time out to sit down with me to tell his story. So for that, I'm eternally grateful. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm grateful for you for coming out, you know, to check out Tuned In with the TKB Report with your host, Mr. Three Keys. And my parting words are this. Three Keys stands for recognize your past, acknowledge your present, and work towards your future. And with everything that you've, you know, described today, with everything you talked about today, you know, you went to school, you didn't like what was going on. That was your past. You came home. You recognized presently that you had something that you wanted to do and something you wanted to say. You know what I mean? You did that, and working towards your future, you finished school, and now you are helping kids to, you know, potentially have a better life than you did, so that they don't have to experience things that you did. So for that, I salute you. Ladies and gentlemen, I salute you. I'm K. Langevin, a.k.a. Mr. Three Keys, and I'm signing off from Tuned In with the TKB Report. And until next week, peace.
Peace.